It is a fusion core here. So is this a possibility? I have seen him play BC into Bio a lot more than BC into Mech. But Hardwire is not a terrible map for him.
That's definitely what I'm leaning towards as well. I mean, sometimes there are some crazy 2-base builds as well, where we just open up with a BC and then we just make a crazy amount of Hellions, morph them into Hellbats, get on top of the Queens, and try to straight up end it.
It's interesting. No gas is being taken though here for Heromarine. Does kind of indicate that we will still be going into that Bio play that he loves so much as Stim starts. And that is indeed what we will be doing. Bailing Nest will be thrown down here for Solar. I don't think Solar believes that this will be max.
No. I mean, I think that Solar has done a bit of prepping. Like I said, he didn't know all along he was going to play against Heromarine, but he has known for a solid 4 or 5 hours at this point, as we've had a couple of very long series to get here. So I'm sure that he's gone over a couple of VODs that Heromarine has been playing, and perhaps that's one of the weaknesses of Heromarine. The man plays a ridiculous amount of public games. Not only does he stream all the time, he also plays in a decent amount of online tournaments. Here is our first battlecruiser, just jumps straight into the main base, picks up a single drone. No, I want to say no sport crawler in the natural, but that's wrong. The sport crawler was just kind of well hidden. Heromarine is still finding some drone damage though, and that's not even that bad considering the fact that we've got 5-6 Queens in position. Maybe this opens the door for the Hellions to find some success in the third, but that's not happening either. So good defense by Solar, but at least Gabe got something out of it.
Yeah, and I think the best thing here that happened for Gabe is the fact that Solar hasn't started a fourth base yet. And Solar is playing, I think, once again, this 5-gas opener.
This is adding up.
Yeah, this really is adding up. That's big drone damage, and still no fourth base means that even if more drones get produced, oh my god, this is a lot of damage here. A bunch of workers will go down. These Hellions should be able to trade out okay against these Lynx as well. They find a pretty decent position. Ends up not being too great there for Gabe. Loses 8 Hellions, kills 13 Lynx and 12 drones. I'm not quite sure if he's going to be too happy with that. He's really vulnerable in the future against Ling run buys.
If we get a cancel on this hatchery, I actually still think that he's going to be more than okay with everything. The Queens are kind of out of position. We can't transfuse this hatchery. The battlecruiser does get a cancel. Unfortunately for Heromarine, does not get the drone. But I think overall 61 workers right now against the 67 drones. Queens are a bit out of position. This BC is still having a pretty good time. Can it pick up a Queen as well? Yes, it can. I mean, Heromarine is just getting little victory after little victory. This thing can always jump home. I agree that maybe the Hellions not getting all the drones, but it's a lot of lost mining time as well. So it's not just the direct damage on the amount of drones that Heromarine has picked off. It's a lot of indirect damage as well from all the time that these drones were not mining in the first place. And I think Solar is going to have a pretty tough time dealing with the first real pushes of Heromarine. And Gabe wants to get another cancel on this hatchery. He just stims from very far away. Feels that some units are out of position, that this is his moment. Wants to get a cancel. There are some Lynx and Bailings showing up, and Solar does an amazing job in keeping this hatchery safe for now.
Yeah, no Spore in the main base in position to deter this drop from entering though, as Heromarine will try and abuse this cliff a little bit. Banelings with speed will roll in however, and should be able to force Heromarine back as those two Marines get left behind. Poor guys will fall on the platform, but they served well. So is that a mine drop?
Could very well be. We've got 2 additional mines on the way. 4 Wither mines indeed inside. As that battlecruiser, it has come back. It's fully repaired. Solar, you're gonna have to cancel this hatchery, my friend, and he does end up losing the drone. I feel that Heromarine is playing a mighty fine game here, though, on Hardwire so far. Just finding way more success than he was able to find in game 1. That did not go his way. Do we have drilling claws already? I feel like no. We have a lot of mines on the map, though. I feel like if we're going this heavy on the mines, I wouldn't hate sneaking in a second factory and try to get drilling claws, or maybe temporarily put a tag lab on the factory, but I know that's not really part of most Terran build orders. But if we're going this heavy on the mines, I feel like we may as well.
Yeah, here comes the 4 mine drop. Let's see how much damage it can find. There is a Spore in position, of course. We'll see how quick the response out of Solar is. Well, not quick enough so far. Let's see what the target fire will be like.
A lot of drones very clumped up. 15 workers going down to those 4 Wither mines. And at the same time, Heromarine is applying some pressure on the left side. There should be more than enough Link Bane as the Banelings find some good connections. But Solar doesn't want to chase all the way around, as there are a few mines to run back to here as well. Heromarine is all over Solar in game 3 so far, but those were the Baneling connections that Solar was looking for. And that takes away all the momentum that Heromarine was creating for himself. My goodness, I think Solar just dodged a massive bullet, because if he doesn't clean up that the way he does, this game could very well end in the near future.
Drilling Claws will finish up soon, as Heromarine setting up for a big 2-2 timing attack. A lot of creep is being scanned away. These Banelings will not finish morphing. What is the current Baneling count at? as 20. That's a pretty decent number, but there's also a lot of mines. This run by will force back the battlecruiser, but that's not the biggest of deals. This fight can be very scary for Solar.
Gabe has been macroing absolutely phenomenally in this game. The micro slipped up once or twice. Seems like once more we had a few Baneling connections on the left side that were perhaps a bit bigger than they were supposed to be, as the mines are kind of left by themselves there. The tank is left behind as well, so Solar does live to fight another day. The macro has been on the money. That battlecruiser has been a little MVP, because it has been very successful offensively and defensively. It just feels that once or twice Heromarine already had a possibility to truly get a lot of momentum on his side, but when Solar needed it the most, he got the best Baneling connections.
Yeah, definitely. Kind of forgot about the Lurker then though. The Hive is already finished, but no Lurker upgrades on the way yet. To be honest, there's not a lot of gas either to even get any Lurkers or Lurker upgrades currently. And Solar will be looking at a pretty scary 2 minutes. As he doesn't really have anything to deal with high mine counts. These upgrades are still going on for Heromarine as well, soon to be 3-3. This is such a scary position.
We have a lot of Widow Mines with Drilling Claws, a couple of Liberators are in the mix too, so those are going to show up. Now on creep, I still think Solar is going to be more than fine. On the edge of creep, it's already going to be a bit dicey. Seems like Heromarine is going to use the Liberators to harass rather than something that can assist his army in the center of the map. I wonder what our battlecruiser is up to. Okay, it's chilling on the right side, could potentially get in range of the drones. Banelings looking for connections and once more finding good connections, not just with the Marauders, but with a couple of the Marines as well. The second part of the fight went a lot better for Heromarine, as Gabe is still just sitting in a very pretty economy. It's the complete opposite of game one, but this time around I feel Heromarine barely lost any SCVs, but found a lot of drone damage, while on Glittering Ashes it was Solar who found all the SCV damage, and Heromarine didn't find any drone damage whatsoever.
Yeah, not too much AoE with this army out of Heromarine. That means that these Banelings could potentially get some big connections. Stim, splits, good so far. None of these Banelings really finding what they want. It does feel like though Heromarine doesn't quite have enough here. Parasitic Bomb goes down. The medevac count is rather low as well. And do we have anything at home that can help us defend? 4 mines are there. No tanks though. And I mean, ghosts are good.
The Ghost on the left side actually getting surrounded by those Lings, so those won't even make it home. One Widowmine gets blown up by the Banelings, the other Widowmine does fire and connects with a few, but will also fall. Suddenly all the momentum is inside of Solar. I wouldn't mind if Solar would just slow it down a little bit here. I know you still have a lot of units made, but you actually still have an economy to fall back to. You can use your Lurkers. Instead he's taking a fight off creep. I don't know if this was necessary. Now he did kill the Planetary Fortress on the left side, so that's obviously a big W for Solar.
This is the point where Heromarine doesn't like playing too much. This Ling run by wouldn't have been an issue if there was a planetary here, but the command centers just were not available. A bunch of mules go down. A lot of the SCVs have to fight as well. This is not what they were built to do, and 12, well, yeah, 13, 14, 15 end up going down here. The Marines will come and help out, but that's a big hit to the eco of Heromarine. It doesn't have that many orbitals.
Nidus network is close to finishing up as well, so there is always the possibility of a Nidus popping up in the main base of Heromarine. Now losing all those SCVs does mean that he even has more supply to potentially build battle units, and these fights have gone in a, I think, great fashion for Heromarine, as there is that first Nidus going down in the main. I don't see any Marines in production. Heromarine, are we going to take care of it? It seems like the answer is no. Heromarine too focused on his push, but if we lose all of our production facilities, I feel like we just can't do a whole lot. There are the first few Lurkers. I don't think Heromarine is going to turn around. He just wants to make more magic happen here at the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult though. There's still a lot of defensive bases. These ghosts start moving forward as well. We'll try to take out this base once again. Solar launching a big counter-attack with a lot of these Lings. Right side army of Heromarine gets cleaned up. Lurkers in the main base still going strong as well. Denying production on that starport and a bunch of these barracks. 2 Reapers being produced right now. Surely that's a mistake. Heromarine keeps pushing forward, and this is a very fierce army.
Yeah, but this is kind of where all hell is going to break loose. Heromarine is going to lose a lot of his production facilities. He's going to lose the majority of his SCVs. This army is pretty much going to have to do it, and it is a big army. It's a lot of Marines. The stim goes down. I don't know what the Lurker count is at. Even this Planetary is going to fall against straight up Lings. We've got only 3 Lurkers, 20 Banelings, but only 11 remain after those tank shots. This is an army that has game-ending potential, as the Banelingness gets picked off, and the Hydralisk Dam was on the right side there as well. So Solar is losing 2 of his very important production facilities, and I don't think he's rebuilt them. He's even going to rebuild a spawning pool somewhere. He still has that in the main base. Can this army do it for Heromarine?
8 Lurkers being morphed on the high ground. Once they finish, these tanks need to slowly but surely start pushing forward. There's still lurkers on the production of Heromarine. The army supply is huge though for the German Terran. 120 army supply.
Those snipes, the Ghost just going to town on those lurkers that were freshly morphed into main base. There aren't too many SCVs left on the Heromarine side of the map. Only 17, and Orbital is gonna land in the center just so we can throw down a scan. But I don't see a way for Solar to fight this army, especially not without a Baneling Nest, without the Hydra Den, because those were pretty much the last few lurkers that he was able to morph in the first place. Heromarine still has a couple of snipes available. I don't know how many medevacs we've got left. Seems like quite a few, 7 of them, most of them out of energy though. They've been working overtime. A single scan goes down, one more lurker falls. Is Big Gabe doing it? I think he's on the verge of getting himself into a 2-1 lead. Even though they both have a lot of money in the bank, neither of them is able to spend it at the moment.
Yeah, we did see the new spawning pool already being built. Production of Big Gabe is flying towards his army. There's still some orbital commands here. They cannot fall, as they are the only way to deal with lurkers. This is a big drop, because this base needs the larva. This base needs the mining as well. Oh, Solar, are you really giving this away?
And that's the Hydralist then as well. Even the Reapers, that accidental Reaper is going to show up. Heromarine gets on top of these drones too. They all get picked off. I like how he's killing the Spore Trawler before he's killing the hatchery, just to make sure that he doesn't have to deal with too many Broodlings. This hatch is going to fall. Solar potentially is going to try to build something up in the top left side, but he keeps on losing his production facilities. That's his last spawning pool, and that is one that I think Solar really needs to keep alive. Army supply is a little bit closer now, and the Baneling count is higher than it was before.
Yeah, let's not forget that this is also still on creep. So if these Banelings get the connections that they have been getting so far this game, this could still be bad for Heromarine. Lots of tanks though to provide that splash damage. Solar moves in, no moves back again. One tank shot will hit. These drones get evacuated. There's another base here towards the top side. What is that in Big Gabe's base? Are those hatcheries?
Yep, I think those could very well be hatcheries. He needs production. He doesn't have any larvae anymore. He's been losing most of his hatches around the mech. Heromarine is going to run out of scans though. Army supply, it's incredibly close. 81 against 78 in favor of the German Terran. Finds another base, finds another Baneling Nest. A few brave Marines on the right side are going to get on top of that final hatchery. Solar will be able to take care of that hit squad, but more drones are going to fall on the left side. Solar still has way more workers than Heromarine though. But what is that already good for? What is the Big Bang good for if you've got no larva?
Yeah, that is a bit of an issue. No way to get Vipers either without a hive. Another spawning pool is getting built. I think this is the 4th or the 3rd spawning pool in this game. Tanks once again sieging for it. Great scan there. This is insane. I can't believe it. Slowly but surely, Heromarine is keep pushing forward. We'll be able to take out this base as well, most likely. Solar doesn't even want to defend it.
There are 5 lurkers morphing now in the original natural of Solar, but that was the final hatch that was truly connected to any mineral patches whatsoever. We're now going to build 2 spawning pools at the same time, as we're still building 14 links. Those links are being produced in the main base of Heromarine. Look at that command center. It's keeping a close eye on the hatcheries in the main base, so Gabe is aware of it. And the more time that goes by, at least the medevacs are regenerating some of that energy, because those were all completely out of juice, and they kind of still are, because Heromarine stimming so much. This is nuts. Such a big moment in this second quarter final here at the Intel Extreme Masters. We have one orbital landed, the scan goes down, a lurker falls, and every lurker is incredibly important for Solar. I think Solar is running out of steam. I just don't see how he fights this Terran army.
Yeah, too many tanks, too many ghosts. Every single time that Heromarine spots these lurkers, they all go down because of the snipes. No way to run away for Solar, as Solar now tries to stop these orbital commands from landing, and then perhaps these lurkers have that can give him some type of safety. Look at that in the main base. That orbital is an absolute baller. Covered in creep, doesn't care. Oh, this orbital, can he force everything to lift and then just burrow a bunch of links at different positions?
Yeah, but what are we going to do with burrowed links?
Well, force the orbital command not to land, and then with lurkers, well, there's no lurkers left. And there's no Hydras left. Oh, no, I guess that plan won't work.
I've seen a lot of ways. Oh, burrowed Banelings though. Now that is one thing that you can of course do. Heromarine is splitting his arm. Wow, it's almost like Gabe just knows that this is a real possibility. Lands his orbital if he throws down a random scan. Are we going to use the burrowed Banelings there? He throws down a scan in the bottom right side. Seems like Heromarine is mostly worried about a mining base somewhere. We know that's not the case. What is that? A single tank in the medevac? I assume it is. It must be. Yes, it is. Heromarine sieges up once more. He is keeping an eye on these fast-moving links. Throws down a scan. A couple of these Banelings. Every single Baneling is so important. Army supply 65 against 65. 23 minutes into the game. Ridiculous. You can't make this stuff up today.
Yeah, you really can't as Heromarine gets a pot shot there. A couple of links will fall. This orbital gets forced to lift though, and this one will actually burn down. That is one less orbital here for Heromarine.
He could drop a mule and repair it, no?
Yeah, he could have. Oh, he can still.
Mule! Oh, 40 HP. Heromarine will keep that orbital alive. It's a very close call, but every orbital matters. We've got Queens off creep. Is this it? Is this the moment where Solar says, enough is enough. This is my moment. I need to finally engage you. The tank spread is excellent though. The Marine micro is good. All the Heromarine really needs to do is save a couple of these bio units, but all the tanks have gone down, but he does keep 15 Marines and 3 ghosts alive. Drops into the main base, his own old main base, and sees the 2 Baneling nests. He knows that Solar has no money. Snipes on the Banelings going down too.
There's 9 drones left. There's long distance mining going on right now as 2 more links are being produced. Snipes will take out this queen. There is no AoE on the side of Heromarine anymore. Is this position completely closed off?
But there is also no anti-air. I think there are a few links and banes that could potentially sneak through. No, I don't think they can, and Heromarine is aware of that too. But now he picks up one of the Baneling nests. That orbital is flying. This is one of the silliest endings of a game that I've seen in a very long time. We could potentially drop another mule to save this orbital too. We could create a force field with barracks. We could create a wall off and just slowly but steady snipe. As long as Heromarine doesn't lose any ghosts, this should be his game, because these units are untouchable. Heromarine can do this all day. He can dance all day. He can drop all day.
He definitely can. Orbital command finally goes down, but it won't matter. He is indeed making a bit of a wall with these barracks. All of these fights will most likely happen off creep. Oh, I love how he is doing this. Look at that. Even getting all these barracks down there. Ghost on the low ground.
Snipe.
Will use the snipe. Baneling still down. Does need to pick up these ghosts though. Heromarine, you need to be careful. Oh, Solar does not want to commit to one side. Instead starts targeting down these. Oh my god, GG! Heromarine wins the impossible game. I can't believe what we're seeing here. As once again we see Heromarine kind of defaulting back to that triple CC opener here with that fast starport. Most likely on a small map, we'll see some Banshee play. And once again, for I think the 4th time in a row, we're going into 5 gas for Solar. He's really keen on this opener. He loves playing Hydra Link Bane, and he loves sticking with Hydra Link Bane for a lot longer than most of the other Zergs. That kind of, you know, they see the lurker as the end goal, but for Solar it tends to be more about the destination or about the journey.
I kind of feel that the Banshee should be able to get an easy cancel on that hatchery in the bottom side. They are about to fly over. This hatchery is being revealed. It's relatively low HP. Heromarine could decide to cancel it, but he doesn't want to do that. What he wants to do instead is go for economic damage. There is a Spore Crawler there though, so now I feel like it kind of got ruined that we activated Cloak so early. But it's still pretty sweet Banshee positioning. Not getting too many shots of though. Now one Banshee is very low on HP. Hellions not finding a lot of success in the natural. Gotta give it to Solar here. Very good defense, especially if we can keep this hatchery alive. But this might become a bit more complicated. Do we have an Overseer ready?
I'm not so sure if we actually do. This one Banshee will run out of energy, and sadly that's also the Banshee that already took a couple of hits from these Queens and the Spore. So I think Heromarine will need to run away with those Banshees. So the Hellions still alive, and they're being very active. A lot more active, I feel like, than in the previous games. It feels like Gabe has gotten a little bit more confidence over that past game. Yeah. Grenade. That's not 2 creatures there. That's kind of big.
And also Queens forced to transfuse each other. Heromarine has a double drop on the left side. This is a big moment for Solar. He truly is not allowed to lose this hatchery, and that's why he's already sending a lot of Lings and Banes. But he's not exactly sure where these units are coming from. I think Heromarine is doing a great job in keeping Solar in the dark. Solar is not allowed to take any economic damage here. He's not allowed to lose his hatchery. Heromarine was hoping that these units were a bit further out of a position, but so far so good for Solar as he even grabs a couple of these Marines.
I think Solar is kind of in the dark though about what's going on here. He's not aware of the fact that these extra barracks are here. I don't think he's scouted the insane Marine count either, and Heromarine is going to hit really hard really soon.
This could be the career-defining moment. This could be what Heromarine has been waiting for all these years. This would definitely be the biggest accomplishment from his career. If he can make some magic happen with the 8 Rex push here on Berlingrad. We saw how happy he was early today by making it into the quarterfinals. Heromarine in the semifinals. He's a confident man, but I don't think even he would have dreamed about that when this tournament started.
Yeah, definitely not. There's about 80 Marines right now. 36 Banelings are here. Solar's getting the lurkers. He's getting the hive, but I don't quite think it's going to be in time for this push. Ling run by is a possibility, but I don't think Heromarine is straight up reinforcing. Oh, this is such a forward army here.
Yep, Solar setting up the flank, but he needs to be very decisive. If he goes for it, he's got to go for it once and for all. These tanks are getting pretty good shots off, a few times on the clump of Banelings as well. It's awkward. Solar is under a lot of pressure. I don't know if we're firing up any Vipers. Heromarine has a solid 20 army supply lead. Well, Gabe is done this time and time again. He knows how to do it. He's going to stim forward with a lot of these Marines as the tanks are already in a very good spot. Solar under an immense amount of pressure. Very difficult to keep your head calm here.
Oh, Solar's going to hit just before +2 attack finishes. Coming from 3 different sides here. Down this ramp, not going too well though. Does get a couple of good connections. Tanks will fall. Heromarine stays alive for now, but loses a lot of the Marines. Reinforcements do need to come in. But where are the Banelings?
He is still parade pushing. Look at the minimap. It's nothing but blue being sent towards the natural. Liberators are going to show up now as well. And if these libs get protected by the tanks, this is going to get harder and harder for Solar as the Baneling nest is there. The Hydralisk is there. The final few Banelings is that's what's going to keep Solar alive for now. It seems like the answer is yes. And Solar is fighting back. He is pushing Heromarine back. But Heromarine is not done yet. But picking up those libs is so big for Solar because now the first lurkers are out.
Yeah, lurkers are going to be helpful. No seismic spines yet. An immediate rotation here out of Heromarine. Tank moves over there as well. Not quite sieged yet. Can he target down those lurkers? Banelings are non-existent. One Baneling will connect with the tank as the lurkers will start working on that tank as well. The supplies look even, but the army supply is in favor of Heromarine as 2 more Liberators will set up over here.
Sportcrawler is going to try to provide some anti-air, but that's not going to do it. That one lurker is getting a few shots off, but this hatchery is starting to run low on HP. This is still very close, because if Solar can just push this back one time properly, he's still in it. He can still make magic happen, but the hatchery falls. We are going to abduct these Liberators though. One of the Liberators takes a lot of damage. One of them gets picked off, but Heromarine is still picking up Banelings, and Solar is slowly but steady running out of steam. Is this it for Gabe? Not quite, is what Solar says as he pushes him back one more time. But during all of this, Heromarine did go up to 4 bases. Never started +3 attack though.
Never did start at +3 attack as he's also on 74 workers, which is relatively high, so he has a good eco behind this. Solar cannot give up any of these bases. More tanks are moving forward. Heromarine smells blood in the water as he slowly but surely leapfrogs forward. There's a single lurker with seismic spines. Is that going to be enough here for Solar?
Well, Heromarine says no, it's not, as he throws down the scan, picks it up, gets a couple shots off on the Viper too, but 4 extra lurkers, that is going to keep Heromarine at bay. Solar just needs to stay calm, try to make sure that you don't do anything silly offensively. Try to hang in there, increase the lurker count, increase the Viper count, maybe land an abduct or 2. But Gabe, he is not slowing down. Pedal to the metal for the German here as he is moving forward. This is going to be so nerve-wracking for both players. There is an abduct going down on that Liberator, so Solar does get a sweet pick off there, but he is under a ridiculous amount of pressure.
Yeah, Heromarine probably should already be trying to transition into some type of ghost. Of course, there's still a possibility that he can kill his opponent with this push, but should already be thinking of the future. Solar is setting up a bit of a run by. It will be able to take out a couple of these SCVs as some abducts do go down.
A couple SCVs do go down. Blinding Cloud is going to keep the lurkers safe. Gabe needs to be very careful as he does go for some Liberator res in the bottom. And it seems that at this point the German Terran player says, all right, I know this game has been going pretty well for me, but let's not throw it. I don't think I can end it here. That's a planetary fortress, Solar, so a few links are not going to get anything done. That hatchery, by the way, the bottom side of the map, 6 o'clock, is still very low. And it's been very low for a long time. Solar did manage to re-establish the triangle, though, as Heromarine throws down another scan, picks up the creep tumors. But the lurker count is a lot healthier than it was a while ago.
And it keeps growing. The triple factory for Heromarine is pumping out these tanks, though. 9 tanks currently on the map. 1 Viper gets sniped. That is huge, because without Vipers, he can't really fight these tanks.
Yep, that Viper was very important. We've got 1 Viper left. The Blinding Cloud goes down, but there are still so many tanks in the back, getting some great shots off. A lot of links went down there, but a few Marines did fall too. This is a nail-biter once more between these two. A super important, arguably the most important game of Heromarines career. And for Solar, well, it's up there. It's definitely one of them.
Yeah, the lurker count is so large right now, though, but with only a single Viper, he can't really walk into these tanks, can he? There is only Marines with it, no ghosts, no mines, but I think these tanks are just going to be enough. There is only vehicle plating level 1, no vehicle weapons yet. Infantry weapons level 3 is about to finish up, and Big Gabe keeps pushing forward.
10 tanks, 40 Marines, +3 is finishing up. That hatchery is under a lot of fire. Lurkers are trying to hold the line, but Solar is forced to evacuate this base too, as the Marines are going to chase. Tank shots are big, hatchery will fall. I don't think the Link counterattack really got a whole lot done. We need more Vipers, Solar. I know you've been under a ridiculous amount of pressure, but if there is one unit here that's going to make the comeback possible, it has to be the Viper. Abduct after Abduct almost feels like the only play here.
Yeah, it definitely does. More tanks arriving to the front lines as they will start sieging this base as well. Lurkers siege up. We'll start fighting back against these tanks, against these Marines. Decent first trade here for Solar. No blinding clouds. Yes, 2 big blinding clouds here on a lot of these tanks. And this was a great cleanup for Solar, who takes out all the tanks.
Oh my goodness, Solar under so much pressure for such a long time. Tournament life on the line, actually breaks out and pushes Heromarine back. I'd love to see him slow it down. I know that there's still a couple of tanks exposed, but eventually you're going to run into more Marines. You cannot afford to lose those Vipers because your economy is definitely not what it should be. During all of this, Solar is trying to establish the bottom left side as Heromarine is expanding above that, so they are becoming neighbors. I mean, Berlingrad ain't that small, but we don't see that every day either.
Yeah, we really don't. Alternate 5th base is being taken here for Heromarine, who needs to slow down a little bit and perhaps rethink his plan as well, as there are 3 Vipers out currently. That number is going to grow. The Lurker count will continue growing as well. And Heromarine needs some type of ghost here. He just needs them. There's no Vikings, there's no ghost. How will he deal with a larger Viper count?
You know, that's the thing though. Will there be a larger Viper count? Because that's the one thing that Solar is not doing at the moment. I do believe that those 3 Vipers are full on energy, so a lot of Blinding Cloud is available. But you can't really Blinding Cloud 18 tanks, not even Solar. He might be able to abduct a couple, as we do have another Nidus to go down. That Liberator was, I think, kind of important, and it just flew straight into the Hydra army. Both players are somehow, someway maxed out again, as the Marines are getting completely obliterated by the Lurkers. I don't know what these tanks are up to in the front. Okay, they just want to siege up. It's a messy, bloody fight. It does seem that Heromarine is able to get his tanks right where he wants them, but at the same time, that Nidus network goes up in his natural, so I think we can say goodbye to that +3 armor on the bio units, but I don't even know how important that truly is.
Oh, these Marines are going to fall as well, as the final tank that was defending at home dies just before the scan arrives, and these Marines are all just being sacrificed here. Heromarine, you need to micro these. Splits now decent enough, and this will get cleaned up. Heromarine still in it, but the creep is now kind of pushing forward on the map, and I think Solar might be dreaming of an attack.
This is such a sick game by Solar, because he was in a world of trouble. I cannot emphasize enough on how much trouble Solar was truly in, but he's hanging in there with his tournament life on the line, drops another Nidus, and Gabe still indeed refusing to build the goals. I think what he's mostly afraid of is slowing this game down. He doesn't want to turn this into a turtle festival. I think he really thought that he was so damn close to ending it, and he was multiple times, but Solar is one of the best Zergs in the world for a reason, and he's dragging this game out somehow, by the way, that eBay survived, so there might still be a chance for +3 on those bio units, but I don't know if that's going to keep you safe against those spiky boys.
Oh, Nidus network here on the right side. Big Ling run by as well with Adrenal Glands. They're going to absolutely rip through these SCVs. 12, 13 workers already going down. This is painful for Heromarine, who's only on 50 workers remaining. He still has a command center somewhere on that left side as well, which he can eventually mine from as more Nidus networks start going down. But the income is heavily shifting into Solar's favor here, and Heromarine is on a timer for the first time in this game.
Yep, and it feels that he just hasn't been able to find any economic damage himself in the longest time, while Solar doesn't have the craziest map vision. There's a lot of creep in the center, but I feel like on the outskirts there was potential for some of these drops or Liberators. Perhaps we are lacking gas, so Heromarine is just building Marines or using all the gas that he's mining on tanks, as he does find himself in a decent position. There is still that base in the bottom left side. Heromarine knows about it. If he gets these tanks just a little bit further forward, he could potentially just pick up that base in the bottom left, and that is arguably the most important base for Solar.
I love these Vikings being added on, by the way, kind of trying to zone out the Vipers, either forcing Abduct on the Vikings, or just, well, forcing transfuses on the Queens. One Viper will most likely go down. Tanks are getting abducted into this position, though, and Gabe is losing a lot of the important mechanical units.
Yeah, but Solar doesn't have the Viper count that he needs. Like you mentioned this earlier, well, how is Heromarine going to deal with 8+ Vipers? Well, he's not with his current army, but as long as Solar keeps being stuck on 2 to 3 Vipers, and he still just has those 3 Vipers. Heromarine is just building more tanks than 3 Vipers can deal with. That low HP hatchery is still here. A couple of Marines are going to push the Lurkers back further. We've got a lot of low HP Marines. Is this the moment for Heromarine, or will Solar hold once more?
One Lurker on the other side of the map, wreaking a little bit of havoc. This base will need to be given up here by Solar. Finally, it will fall. A lot of these Marines are so low, though. Medivacs still have energy. Gabe keeps pushing forward. Tank count still very high. 2 tanks being produced at a time. Extra Vipers are a necessity at this point.
It's almost pure tank. Here we go. This is it for Solar. Drops the Blinding Clouds. Wants to run the Lurkers, Lynx, Banelings, anything he still has. He throws the kitchen sink at Heromarine. Will it be enough? A lot of tanks have gone down, but there is still quite a bit of Terran remaining. At the same time, though, extra Lurkers are going to show up. The tanks in the top side get picked off too, and it seems like it has been enough. The kitchen sink has pushed back Heromarine once and for all. 10 SCVs have gone down during all of this. We were looking at 20 tanks and they have all disappeared.
GG! Solar takes game number 4. Second barracks. This is a build that we have seen before in this best of 5. 4 Hellion into that 2-1-1 type of style with the fast triple CC will allow Heron to get these Marine drops out quickly to try and deny a fort base. And the one thing that has been pretty consistent in Heromarine's play is trying to stim forward towards that fort base and just going straight away for that cancel. He wants to get it. If it doesn't work out, he'll just pick up, drop them, heal up, and try another time. But that's been something that Solar did need to deal with. And on 2K atmospheres, it can sometimes be tricky to defend that fort.
Solar did go back to his double Evo style on this map. Obviously 2K, a slightly bigger map than Berlingrad. He's okay with having that slightly later lair and obviously later Baneling speed, but this is going to give him good upgrades and at least keep his upgrades up to par. What I've seen Solar have a couple of times already in this series is that his carapace is often a bit ahead of his melee. Now for a Terran player, that's something you really don't want to do. As a Zerg, in a weird way, I don't even hate it that much, because if Lings or Banelings get on top of bio units, they're going to find some damage regardless. It's often just about staying alive. Heromarine with his initial set of Marines does not want to take the fight against those queens. Knows there are quite a few Lings nearby. 9 Banelings are morphing, but these are obviously going to be slow Banelings.
Yeah, they will be viable to fight against these Marines on creep, but off creep I would not suggest it as Solar. Layer's about to finish up and then we'll see the centrifugal hook starting, obviously. As Heromarine is being rather patient, a little bit conservative with this Marine squad, just wants to heal it up, and once Medevac 3 and 4 pop out, perhaps we'll see a similar push as we saw on Glittering Ashes with these tanks joining up as well. Does need to be careful for Ling run-bys though.
Do we still have any Hellions? Because he used his Hellions in a pretty cute way. Yeah, we still have those 2 Hellions, so those could always morph into Hellbats down the line. So we throw down another scan in the center. Drops an infestation pit, drops another hatchery, fires up 2 upgrades, fires up the Hydra then, but still no Baneling speed. There we go. I mean, that would have been a true heartbreak to lose, but now it's going to take a little while, and the tanks are going to knock on your front door. This could very well cost Solar this hatchery, because with slow Banelings, I don't know if he's going to be able to clean this up. A couple of these Banelings get cancelled on the left side. Heromarine gets his Marines in range of this hatchery. We have Banelings coming in from the top side though, and Lynx, I believe, as well. But Baneling speed, it feels like it's going to take centuries.
Yeah, this is not the fight that Solar was hoping for. These slow Banes off creep might be able to connect with these Marines. No, they're just a little bit too slow. Good control here out of Heromarine. Tank still alive as well. Heromarine pushing through. There's no more Banes available for Solar, and he will eventually give up this base, but not after losing a lot of money here. A lot of resources lost in that last fight. And Heromarine is feeling comfortable here. He's feeling confident and keeps pushing forward.
Not even a 9-minute game, and Solar has already lost 2.8k resources more than Heromarine. Not having Baneling speed there, or not even having it close to finishing up is truly painful. Gabe feels that this is still his moment. He notices those Banelings are still slow. So yeah, well, why even back off? Why not stay in range? Why not try to get a few more shots off? As at least the 2 upgrades were on point for Solar. And Baneling speed is now going to finish up. He did fire up the Hive during all of that, but he really has put himself in a position where he needs to make another comeback, because at this point this game is not looking all that fly for Solar. Once the Vipers are out, once the first few Lurkers make it to the battlefield, Solar is always capable of turning it around.
Yeah, Solar now trying to break this position, finally wants to grab that 5th base. Will clear up both of the tanks, and that means that these Marines should not be capable of forever denying that right side base. With a big force here, this could, well, Could almost be a sniper, perhaps. There's no mines with this army, though. That means that Banelings will be very powerful. Marauders can tank a lot of these Bane shots. Good engagement so far for Heromarine. A large part of his army is off creep, and another mine shows up. 2-2 about to finish up as well. This is looking good for the German Terran.
That was all while being down 2 upgrades. He is no longer down 2 upgrades. Those were some sexy splits off creep. We're gonna have a parasitic bomb, almost a desperation parasitic bomb. The final few Banelings are gonna run in here. A Widow Mine has not fired yet, I believe, and it does not fire as it did go down to the Banelings. So Solar is gonna push it back, but at the same time, the Marines of Big Game are finding some success here in the natural. They're gonna stim forward, get on top of a Queen. There are a couple of Lings and a couple of Hydras, but that's not gonna be enough. So these Banelings need to come to the rescue. Solar holds, but can he keep this base alive? The answer is no, as Widow Mines will also manage to burrow and get a good shot off too. Is the Kingpin of Cologne finally doing it and punching the ticket into the semifinals.
Yeah, 5th base finishing up as Solar's 4th hatchery needs to restart over here. 7 lurkers on the way, adaptive talents halfway done. Seismic Spines has already finished, but Heromarine is not going to wait for those lurkers to finish morphing. He is pushing forward. There's loads of medevac, not that much, but what was that shot from downtown this Widow Mines? Oh my god, Banelings will connect with a large part of them Marines, as these lurkers will end up burrowing and should save it up. Oh, Marines once again in the natural though. No Banelings to clean this up. Will move forward, and Heromarine temporarily needs to back off.
Heromarine is pushing a very high pace here. Solar is just trying to drag this game out a little bit longer. Try to increase the lurker count. Ooh, Trader Mine there as it blows up a couple of Marauders. Did a bit of damage to the medevac still. Solar, can you do it again? As a Viper flies over a couple of Marines, Heromarine did notice it, is not able to pick it off. I mean, he's hard stuck on 3 bases, a 3-base Zerg. It's a disaster for Solar. There is no other way to put it, but there is always some hope. If you give the men Lurkers and Vipers, there is a chance, but it starts by securing that base at 9 o'clock. That is close to finishing up. He's gonna try again to get the base at the bottom at the same time. I think that's a little ambitious when we're working with 155 supply, but I guess desperate times call for desperate measures.
Yeah, definitely the case. And I love that Heromarines already starting up that Ghost production. 3-3 close to finishing up as well. And there's just no money here for Solar to get his own 3-3. He will need to rely on good fights with Lurkers and Vipers. But with Ghost out every single time, these Lurkers, they need to retreat or they need to move back. They will get sniped. Same with the Vipers, EMPs. Oh, this is an interesting fight though. Heromarine not quite controlling that as well. Not the end of the world, as he will be able to retain some type of map presence on that right side with these medevacs.
Gabe's still not slowing down, as he's clearly still pushing a pretty high pace, and he's gonna pick off even more Cryptomers. Solar really doesn't have any vision. Compare this to the majority of the ZVTs you see. The only thing he really sees is where his bases are. The hatchery provides some creep. Well, that's pretty much it. Heromarine is increasing the ghost count, so he can start landing some snipes. You gotta be careful with those ghosty boys. They are very expensive. At the same time, Heromarine feels like there is a opening in the main base, or at least he's gonna use this to pull a lot of units out of position. Do we get a parasitic bomb? Yes, we do. But Heromarine is on top of that as well. And this opens the door. The triangle third. Not too many mineral patches left here, but still an important base. Banelings coming in from the right side. Can they find some good connections? No. Another ridiculous Widow Mine shot all the way from the top. The lurker super exposed. Heromarine still maxed out. Solar supply is plumbing.
Yeah, Nidus Network once again. Solar says it worked before. Let's try this again. Vipers need the energy. Infestation Pit is getting sniped. The same time, I think the 3rd base just went down for Solar. Oy, 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 oy. He is in so much trouble right now as Heromarine does not relent, keeps pushing forward, keeps throwing down more command centers and more orbitals, and he is looking for that kill. He wants to get himself in the semifinals.
He truly has Solar on the ropes once more. He had Solar on wobbly legs, on Burling Ground, but that was not enough to get Solar out of it. This time around, he doesn't just have him on wobbly legs. I think he has officially knocked out Solar. Heromarine with the biggest accomplishment of his Starcraft 2 career as he advances to the semifinals of the World Championship here in 2022.